because New York is, bro, is like the mecca of basketball, right? So growing up in a tough, ultra competitive basketball environment, if you put it that way, of course, it's competitive everywhere, but New York is special. I mean, at least from what we hear from outside. So how was it growing up your high school days, AU days, high school days?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, you're
right up to
right. You're
call.
right. I don't think I had like real context for like how tough or competitive New York was until I left New York. Because you know when you're in, it's like a fish in water. It's like you don't know
Of
it's
course.
water until you're out of it,
Yeah.
and you realize like that's what you've been using to breathe. You know, I grew up like during the era of like heavy Slam magazine. I don't know if that's like something you're hit to, but like Slam was like,
Yeah,
it was,
yeah. Ooh,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
still
exactly. I
around?
don't know how. Shit, I mean, like when I was properly like locked into, even watching NBA highlights from afar, I feel like I was still looking at like Slam Online because I couldn't get the physical. But like that was
Yeah.
for sure, like what Cole say, like the Bible. I was reading it religiously with the hopes that one day I could see my name on any type of ranking, New York ranking, because
Yeah.
that really used to mean everything to be like
Yeah.
ranked in New York. That effectively meant you was ranked globally in the world, So Lance Stephenson, for example, was like a couple years older than me, and then prior to that, it was obviously like the whole Sebastian Telfair thing, just like for me at least switched everything because that was like a high school kid. He was literally getting like Derek Jeter and Jay Z at his
Shit.
high school games, and it was just you got a real close look up at how quickly things could change or be amplified just by virtue of being in this city. So if the whole world is looking at you, you already have a sense that clearly this is like
Yes.
the highest form of hoops. So there was a time where, unfortunately, being back now recently, it's not the same. But like even like your corner court was competitive. You know what I mean? Like locally,
Yeah.
cats. It was like there was like a real sense of like shit. If I do something here, someone might see me, and then I might get chosen. And that was like that I think added to like the deep ambition to perform at all times, which is like
Yeah.
a really important feeling to be able to grow up with. A long way of saying like yeah, it was competitive as fuck. It was gritty because everybody was that was there's a lot of different ways to quote unquote make it, but when you're living in the destination, which is New York City, it's
Yes.
like half the time is also you're trying to not make it, but like stay within it.
Yeah, of course.
Out to like another city or another country, because you're in the place that everyone's trying to get to. So it's a weird relationship. But yeah, that's what makes hoops in New York
I
different.
mean, yeah, I mean, they say if you can make it in New York, you can make it
Yeah,
anywhere.
tight.
So, so I get that, but just quick, bro, you just took me down to crazy memory lane right away. I mean, for us, at least growing up, you mentioned Lance Stevenson.
Yeah,
Today, I think people forget how big
crazy.
Lance Stevenson was around, bro. I think he was like 13, 14 or something. I heard about him in Sweden.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it was like, and to be like going on like hoopmixtape.com, Ball is Life. That's actually later versions of it. Like that's like matured internet. Like
Yeah,
young Lance, born ready,
yeah,
when you're
exactly.
hearing
That,
about this kid like 12, 13, 14, like an extension of what the Lincoln Rail Splitter, like Brooklyn hoop phenomena was.
yeah,
And obviously you had like, yeah, like Kemba Walker in the mix, like guys who were like a
yeah,
little older than me, but it was just like, New York guards. It was like, that's all you wanted to be. And also
to
the
be.
Big East in college at that point
Yes,
was going crazy. But
yeah,
even then, you still had like Marbury, who was like hit the pinnacle of like, okay, you can go from New York to being like the guy in the NBA. But what Lance was doing for sure, as like for a kid, it was just like, this is a grown man. I remember when he dropped 50 against Jamal Crawford at the Rucker. And at that time, there's no like highlights. But hearing about it the day after, like, yo, you remember Lance did, bro? Shorty like
hold on.
14.
How old was he when he did
He was
it?
14.
I,
Nah, look at that. Shit
yeah.
is OD. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then
Exactly.
also it's different than it is today, where the fact that Jamal Crawford is even in the vicinity of you to be able to play
Yeah,
him. You know what I mean? Now,
exactly.
like, it's all, videographed and, you're
Yeah,
capturing like pickup games, and your kid, league guys going back to their hometown. But like the fact that you could just have that level of access to pros as a New York kid you're like one good game away from like, hey, bro, like, why don't you come join this run or in this tournament or whatever. So it was the best, bro. I appreciated it, but I look at it even more now as such a special time. And I was like barely in the circuit.